So moving on to our final topic of the episode, something that I've been doing every one of my episodes, and that is my top 100, continuing my top 100 films. And then we're going to do the next five, and that's going to be 45 through 41. I think our last film was 46, I believe, which I honestly forget what 46 was, but I guess we can look at that up real quick. But as I keep talking and try to make something up as I look it up. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy giving you guys my top 100. I really like, again, promoting some really awesome films as well. So it doesn't really matter. Who cares? Let's just get into it. But so number 45, we're gonna have the original Predator film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is probably one of the best action movies I have ever seen. I mean, it's not the best action movie ever, but there's an argument to be made that it is. I mean, we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, come on now. Come on, do it. I'm here. Kill me. I'm here. Come on. But I mean, like, it's just great. It's filled with amazing one-liners. Stick around. I mean, it has the Predator, which is incredible, great effects for the time. I think it came out in, 1994, maybe? I don't know. I could be completely wrong about that. But, yeah, I mean, I still think incredible effects for its time. It stands up right now. If you watch it right now, the effects stand up. Stand up? Is that the right term? Probably not. I think I might just be putting a foot in my mouth. But anyway, the Predator is still the shit. I mean, it always will be the shit. I mean, iconic film, iconic Arnie film. So I mean, like, there's really nothing else to say about Predator. It's Predator. Go, if you haven't watched Predator, fucking watch Predator. I mean, what are you doing with your life? I mean, come on now. So we're moving on to number 44, another Star Wars topic. We're talking Star Wars Return of the Jedi. This is the third installment in the original film trilogy. It is my least favorite of the original films, but that's not to say it's bad. It's awesome. It actually, for a long time, was my favorite one of the three, but that was when I was like a kid. I mean, it's definitely a movie geared a little bit more to children. I think this is when, like, George Lucas started like, yeah, Star Wars is for kids, putting in Ewoks and that whole thing, and how stormtroopers get completely owned by a whole tribe of Ewoks is kind of unbelievable. I don't know why, like, stormtroopers are like the most useless thing in the world. Like, why do they wear this armor when it can be, like, broken by rocks? Like, I don't like, it's, man, like, that stormtrooper armor has got to be the cheapest fucking material ever. It looks like they're just wearing plastic, which is funny. And it's, like, continued in The Mandalorian. But anyway, I mean, The Return of the Jedi is really awesome. It's got great closure to an amazing trilogy of films. The ending is so epic on a grand scale. I love it. I mean, and it's not all, children film type of thing. I mean, you still have the whole confrontation in the throne room at the end with Luke, Vader, and Palpatine, which is so good, and it's perfect. I love it, and I will always love it, and this film is amazing. I mean, it's great, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to suspend your I mean, it's Star Wars. You're gonna be suspending your disbelief no matter what. But I mean, I still like kind of the whole Ewok thing. I mean, it's just not as enjoyable as it once was when I was a kid. So that's why it's a little bit lower on the top 100, but it's still in the top 100, obviously. I mean, it's a Star Wars film. It's one of the original trilogy, so of course it's going to be on there. So, moving on to number 43, we got the Disney animated film, the classic Disney animated film, The Lion King, which is, I think, looking at my list the other day, I'm pretty sure is my favorite Disney animated film, the classic Disney animated film. I mean, The Lion King is, I don't know, I think it's my personal favorite. I think it's the best film in general. It's not too long, it's not too short. The music is amazing. I mean, the voice acting is incredible. The animation still again stands up today. Is that the right? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing. But The Lion King is awesome. I mean, argument could be made that it's probably the greatest animated film ever. But I mean, that's my personal opinion. I really like it a lot. I mean, it's The Lion King. Again, I feel like everyone has seen it. So, I mean, if you haven't, again, like Predator, what are you doing with your life? But anyway, so moving on to number 42, we got one of the best ever cosmic horror films of all time. We got John Carpenter's The Thing. The Thing is freaking amazing. I love The Thing. It's probably some of the best practical effects of all time. I mean, we're talking what? Did it come out in the 80s? And it is probably one of the best remakes of all time as well. Like, it shows me the release date on streaming on Rotten Tomatoes, but it doesn't tell me when it actually came out. I'm pretty sure it came out 1986, maybe. Let's look that up. I'm really intrigued because when it came out, mainly because the effects of the film are so good. 1982. I don't know why 86 came into my mind, but a movie that came out in 1982 and the effects that it shows, and that, like, the effects are nightmare fuel. Like, it's insane how good they are and how creepy and gross they are in an awesome way, obviously. And it has Kurt Russell, who's one of my all-time favorite actors ever. I love Kurt Russell so much. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I mean, again, really cool psychological horror as well. Kind of playing like a guessing game of like who's the thing next. And I don't know, it's a really great, I think it's a really awesome story. It's a scary story. The setting is perfect. Like, what, in the middle of, I think, Antarctica, right? I believe. I haven't watched The Thing in a while. But, and it's like a remote, like, station in Antarctica. So, like, they're completely alone dealing with this cosmic alien thing that's taking them over and killing them one by one, which is so good and so suspenseful. There's one particular scene where he's like putting fire to some blood, and that is one of the most scariest scenes I've ever seen. I love that scene. That scene is amazing. Probably one of the best jump scares of all time. But anyway, if you haven't seen The Thing, it's probably a little bit more obscure than The Lion King, Star Wars, and Predator, but so definitely check The Thing out from 1982. One of the best remakes of all time. Probably the best cosmic horror. Well, I would say Alien. The first Alien movie is probably the best cosmic horror of all time, but The Thing is a close second, probably. But again, amazing film, great Kurt Russell performance, ambiguous ending, which is really cool, and you got to watch it like a little bit carefully and like pay attention to, and you kind of see it a little bit, like what the main character is thinking in the last like couple moments of the film. So yeah, The Thing is awesome. I couldn't talk more positive about it. I mean, honestly, I think this film has the most of like rising in my list over time. Like, if I watch it a couple more times, I haven't watched the movie a lot. I haven't watched it more than the past 3 movies that I've mentioned, but I mean, I do own it now, so I might watch it more. I might watch it tonight. Who knows? And for the last film of this episode, for this 5 of my top 100, we got The Godfather Part 2. Now, a lot of people are probably going to like, what the hell? How is that not in your top 10? It's one of the best films ever made, and it's better than the first Godfather Part 1. And I would kind of disagree. I mean, I love this film. I mean, it's in my top 100. It's in my top 50. I mean, it's number 41 on the list. It's not like I think this is a bad film. It's one of my favorite films of all time. But I just don't find myself watching this one as much as Godfather Part 1. I don't know. It's just something about like seeing, I guess, Michael go down this really dark road. It's just so depressing to me. But I mean, I love watching it, and I understand it's classic, and I love when he goes to Italy. I love that so much. And just the character of Michael Corleone and his character arc throughout the film really develops, and that's where all the meat is. But I don't know, just something about the first Godfather movie, which is, spoiler alert, higher on this list. I don't know. I think it's like a more enjoyable mafia film. I don't know. It's like it's a hot take because Godfather Part 2 is considered to be the best Godfather movie, and I don't know. I had a little times like, oh yeah, The Godfather Part 2 is the best, Godfather movie, but that was just kind of me, relaying some other popular opinions, because this is referred to as one of the greatest films ever made, and I won't argue that. And it's awesome. I just don't find myself watching it as much as the first Godfather film. When I sit down and I want to watch a Godfather film, I watch the first one and I don't watch the second one. And whenever I watch the first one, I don't instantaneously watch the second one. I mean, maybe it's because of the length. They are very long, but I don't know. I just say what you will. I mean, I love this film. This film is amazing. I just don't watch it as much as the first one. That's why the first one, again, is higher on the list. But, yeah, I mean, again, mafia films aren't my favorite genre, but I mean, I love the genre. But, yeah, so Godfather Part 2 is my 41st favorite film of all time. So, still pretty fucking high. So, get off your keyboard and stop yelling at me. But, whatever. Do what I want. It's my fucking list. Anyway, that's another disclaimer. These are all my opinion. This is what I forgot to say at the beginning that I usually say. All my opinion. It doesn't mean all these movies have the movie magic like I said. Again, I'm trying to get used to the whole podcasting thing. Again, I should have done this before I said all the films, but whatever. Strictly my opinion, and I'll mention that again before the films on my next episode.